Welcome back to my world. It's now 1873, 20 years after the last one. There have been changes, although not radical ones. Time did move slower in those days. Things have stayed relatively the same. I have connected a whole lot more industries though, that is a change, and I have also now got the funds to build my own roads, so that helps too. I've managed to reduce the distance between industries, and that means they can get more payment with less maintenance costs. This road, one of these roads over here, is one of mine. I can't remember which. I do believe these. I don't think there was a road in here, so I may have put that one in. Either I put that one in or I put that one in. I'm pretty sure it was this one. I'm not very rich in the game yet, so I've been obliged to follow the contours of the road, which is a really slow process of laying out a little bit of road and just tweaking it around the map to see where it's the cheapest to build, because it costs more to do things like put in cuttings. Just here, for instance, is a cutting. The road has been raised a little to keep it level. The game does that automatically, and it's certainly nice. It makes it faster for traffic to move along it, and I'm sure a much more pleasant trip, but I can't always afford that. So they're handling some rough territory. That's slowing them down if they meet hills and gullies. But it suffices, and they can get from one place to another, which is really all we're concerned about. They might slow down a bit, they might have to struggle with some corners, but you know, they're good trucks, they're handy. Now, technology hasn't changed much. We're still using these beautiful little horse-drawn carts that I love so much, the covered wagons, covered carts. And I do like the additional coverage. We can now see some of these outlying places. But it's a large area and they can only carry 4 at a time, which of course, that's optimal, isn't it? This is 1873. 20 years ago they were top of the line, so things haven't changed much. Now, I've spotted a bear over there. That is something that this game has in rural areas. You will sometimes spot wildlife. And you might think that that's a concern. The first time I saw one of those, I was a bit concerned. They don't seem to come near people. They're just a little bit of, well, I guess a little bit of colour put into the game. See, he's running from us. I was a little surprised to see them, because as far as I know, England didn't have bears. You get them across other parts in Europe, of course. But I don't know, maybe it once did. I'm not an expert on that. Rumour has it you can name the bears, and I've never done that. I don't even, honestly, he's gone into the hills and I do not recall. I don't know where he's gone. Probably hiding among the trees and I can't see him anymore. I'm not even sure if he was on that side. I believe if you can click on them, and I never have. Never even occurred to me. You usually see them just when you're watching in a cart. We have cows here, and let's see, no, I can't click on the cows. That's kind of a pity. Very realistic looking cows at that farm. So anyway, the point really is just that I have now connected some of these outlying industries. I have coal, leaving the coal mines. I have ore, like this is iron ore, leaving that one. Farnham has buses. Farnham has buses that absolutely cannot handle its demand. Patently inadequate, one might say. but that's what it's got, and honestly they're lucky to have even that, so no change there. I do like the stagecoaches. I like how quiet they are, I like how pretty they are, I feel like they're graceful, and I feel like, how could you not enjoy your time spent in one? As I said, there are certain books I've read where people have journeys in stagecoaches and have their big talks. I love the concept, and they're beautiful. They're one of the most graceful things here. So they are still the top line technology for buses, but even if they weren't, chances are I'd keep them in because I like them. I just like them. So the town has gone ahead a bit, as the towns do. Farnham is the one that I started showing before. It has expanded a little bit out here. You can click on the house and see what year it was built. So that was 1871. Now when it upgrades and downgrades, it puts the new date as well. So it could just mean that it's upgraded. But I think the outlying ones generally, when it builds new houses, this is where it puts it, in the vacant land at the edges of town. And you can, of course, look to see who lives there. Sarah Thompson, who is, oh, goodness me, who is liaising with that gentleman. And not dressed for 1873 at all. I don't think that's any more appropriate for 1873 than it would have been for 1853, when presumably she wasn't alive in 1853. Is this business district? Yes, our business district is looking a little bit like a CBD now. I wonder who's going to go down there? You're going to take me down the main street so we can have a look at the buildings. This definitely looks a bit more urban than 1853, so that is a change. Oh. I like some of these ads. Like some of the ads I wonder about, but some are just great. I like the horseshoe one. Yeah, it's looking like a proper town. 3 or 4 story buildings. And not so many of the fenced yards which we had in 1853. That is something, as they've upgraded, the walls are coming near the footpath and they've just got gravel. I presume that's gravel on the side. Whereas before we had a lot of yards that had like a picnic bench in it, or a bench and a little table and such a thing. That seems to be vanishing in this part of town, and the commercial premises are more shops rather than markets. We'll still get a bit of those on the outskirts, I should imagine. We've still got some of these little houses that we had, but they're on the edges. Oh. Where is this person? Who is this person? So it's a gentleman this time. And hey, how do he's going? Where is his residential building? This road goes nowhere. He must be on that left side of the road, so he's come all the way up so he can go down the left and get to his house. I find this a bit disconcerting too, driving on this side of the road. Doesn't seem natural. It really throws me out when I'm setting up bus runs, because I've got to remember that a bus is going to go down on the wrong side of the road. And I'm forever not only setting them up on the wrong side, but if I get them on the right side, like the correct side for the bus to go down, I tend to click the line the wrong way, because it's just in my head, it's just, they should be going down the other side of the road. So that is, a stagecoach can only take 4 people at a time. We have so many people standing here waiting. But I'm not going to deal with that right now. Farnham has gone ahead beautifully. At least I've got public transport. I will at some point increase that. So there are a few. I believe we have a new type of truck, but I don't know if I'm going to find one. I could find one if I go into the menus, but I don't want to go into the menus. I feel like that's not the kind of video I'm making here. I want to just spot the trucks. Oh, what have we got here? Here is one of our new vehicles. So this is an 1870s top of the line cart. It has a capacity to carry 5 units of whatever it is taking. This one seems to be taking more. Yes, and it goes 20 kilometres an hour rather than 18. Of course, it has to go at 18 if it's sitting behind one of the slower vehicles. That can't be helped. But here we are. It's got away from that truck. Now it can go up 20 just until it catches up to this slower one in front. That is the issue with having slower technology on the road. It does mean that you lose this speed advantage if they're sharing a route with somebody. But because it takes 5, it's still worth it. And in time, I do upgrade everything. I like to upgrade them individually just to sort of see them change. I quite enjoy that part. Now, something I failed to mention before is this is my 3rd game ever. And my first game, I only played for about 10 minutes and realised, just while I was learning the controls and learning what we were doing, and I'd sort of used up all my money in silly ways, hadn't set up my industries correctly. So I really can't call that a play. Like, that was not a playthrough. That was just the briefest of introductions. So my 2nd game I played and got much further, got up to about 1900, I think, and felt that I grasped the mechanics of the game and worked out what needed to be done. And then I stopped that one because I figured out how to slow down time, which I hadn't until that point, so I was just playing at regular pace. And look, there's a deer, antelope, whatever it is. Oh, I wonder, where is it? Can I, oh yes, I can click, I can even change his name. And they have, oh, I had no idea. Can I look at, oh, yeah, I had no idea I could do this. I know, I got completely distracted from what I was saying, but just look at this, I could be a deer in the woods. Anyway, what I was saying was that I'm still very new to the game. I'm still finding new things I can do all the time. Ah, this is amazing. I could give him a name. And I wonder if I give him a name, does he... I don't suppose he appears on the map? I'm just going to try that. What will I call him? Let's call him Abelard. So this is Abelard the deer. So, okay, he doesn't show up, so I don't know how I would ever find him again, but... Oh! Oh, that was intimidating. Oh, dear. Anyway, I know I've gotten a bit distracted here. Yeah, so the point is, this is my first proper playthrough. I made it a very large map. I've never seen a very large map before I started this game, and chances are I'm making lots of mistakes and I don't know it yet. I'm certainly learning all the time. I keep having little, like, complicated things where I think, okay, if I do it a different way, it'll work much better. So some of what I'm doing is just changing out things that worked well for me at the time, and then I've later on realised that it's not as ideal as I thought. Like when, oh my gosh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I'm just ahead of him. Okay. Like when I set up a large fleet of trucks to the same truck line, I've sort of realised how to space them better. That's one thing that I've done. And I've also realised that if I build a truck depot at the far end of the road, then they've got so much further to take the goods. So I'm putting them on the side of the industry that they're coming from and going to now, which I never did before. So I'm going to leave this beautiful Antelope Adelaide now and return to vehicles which have gotten well away from me, but I'll carry on back to them. Anyway, the thing is, I have an option of upgrading everything if I want to this type of vehicle, but I'm not, because the others are, like, it's only 2 kilometres an hour faster. It does take 1 extra unit, which is very handy, but money's still a bit tight, so if the older vehicle is profitable, then I'm just leaving it as is. I will upgrade soon because obviously I get more profit if I upgrade it, but it's not an urgent task to do that. So there we go, he's got his 5 logs. The 5 logs appear on the back, so I guess it's 5 things of logs, not 5 individual logs. And for some reason they wait. I don't know why they do that. Sometimes they go off straight away, sometimes they sit here and just keep everybody waiting. I don't mind that because that'll space them, and I think that's what it's for, but sometimes I just don't see why. Okay, so that's all I need to say about that one. I have a feeling that there might have been another type of vehicle developed, but it doesn't matter. So at this point I've just, oh, you can see I've got a lot going on down here that I never did. See, this is a private person who's got an extremely slow vehicle, even slower than my 20-year-old superseded parts. And I quite like to see that. It's encouraging. It's nice to know that I am not the slowest vehicle on the road. He probably needs 2 horses on that. Oh, there's one of my other new types. Yes. This is the other... Oh, no, it's not. Okay, forget that. I thought it... no, I did. There it is. This is the other new type of vehicle. And I like this one for the drivers because he is protected from the weather here. He's got a roof. It's not a major roof, but it's a roof, nonetheless. This one can also take 5 units. This one can also go at 20 kilometres an hour. I don't really know what the different advantages are with the open and this one. I presume it's load time. But at this stage of the game, load time isn't all that relevant. Anyway, go in. I'm not seeing anything in there because he's empty. And being a benevolent employer, I like to see my staff protected from the weather just a little bit. So that is all the new developments we've got, technology-wise. We've still only got the trucks, I think. And they're the 3 types that we've got. Goods. We've got no goods here to show. I was thinking, has it got any in here? No. The goods factory, even though I've set that up, is kind of stuck on chemicals. Always chemicals. It is so hard to get chemicals to them, and I have got chemicals coming through. I think this may be a road that I built in order to connect those. I've had to do that at various points. It's a steep hill and that makes it very slow for him. He can go at 18 kilometres an hour, but not up a hill like this. So he will slow down more and more. I didn't look at Porthleven before. I love the name. It's my favourite named place actually, but there's nothing unique about the town. It's a lower level of technology still. It's still got these outdoor things that I was saying like the other town doesn't have anymore. Sort of backyard areas. Makes it look a little bit more rural. So I guess that's more about the size of the town than about the era that we're living in. The time period. It's determined to give me a whole lot of information here. I've got bus services everywhere. Here's more of my trucks. I must have a bus. I must have a stagecoach running around somewhere. Can't see it. Ah, there he is. It does help. The towns like it when you put in a town circuit like that. Tadcaster, which I came up to have a look at before. Tadcaster has grown. It's got a couple of quite grand buildings now. These hotels, for instance. Which, I don't think they were called hotels in England. I think they were either inns or lodging houses. I mean, they did have hotels, but they weren't, I don't know, subtle differences, I think. I might be wrong. I'm just thinking of looking at the English census. If they were predominantly for people to stay in, they were usually lodging houses, I thought. But maybe not. Anyway, it's growing. This place is growing. This place is beautifully nestled among the tall trees. I don't suppose I'm going to get anyone going up there. Whoops. Sorry about this. Sometimes I hit the wrong button and then the map just sort of flips in strange ways. Oh, he goes up. Oh. I don't have any mods installed at all. This is the deluxe version, which means that it has the deluxe mod in, which I didn't put in, it just comes with the game, but it seems to be installed as a mod. But I have added nothing, and there's no day or night in the game, it's always daytime, and there's no weather either. It would be lovely to see weather. I'd like to see showers of rain and things like that. I think that would make the game, I don't know, just add an element. It's still fantastic. I do like it. I don't really get bored of this. I'm just looking now, because I'm videoing it, I'm sort of looking at it with new eyes, thinking what would improve it, what would make it look more unique. So that's Tadcaster, and I have flipped the map around, haven't I, because Tadcaster goes this way in my head. I haven't connected any of the industries up there. Just got food coming from Shanklin. Now that is from here to there, which is quite a long run. Oh, and it goes over the mountains, but he's so far away. I would really like to show that. That is, he goes under the mountains. I built a road tunnel. I have a road tunnel for a dirt road going through the mountain in 1873. In my one and only other game that I built, I didn't do a road tunnel until, well, I think it was like 1890s, close to 1900. And it felt a bit decadent doing this, but I really wanted to get that food run going. And I wish he was closer, because I would like to show what the tunnel looks like, but I might come back. I've got a lot of activity going on over here. I've got a really, really, really steep slope here, which maybe I can spend a minute with. This poor truck going 5 kilometres an hour up it. Kilometres an hour. That's how steep this one is. Must have been my own road. fabulous views. The game is full of fabulous views. Okay, I'm not going to go any further with him. I just wanted to go over that hill. And I want... Oh, he's getting close. And I'm afraid this is going to be a bit slow, but I really want to drive through the one and only tunnel in my game. And why not? I can imagine Tadcaster doing this. That's a place that it's self-contained, but it's getting bigger. And I'm sure there's a lot of old wealthy families there, and I'm sure they want this food to come from Shanklin. So my headcanon is that they have contributed heavily to the building of this road. Become a partner with me in putting this through. I have to keep an eye out and see if I can find any other animals. It's nice to be over that hill where we've slowed down so much. Even with an incredibly indulgent tunnel, this is a long journey for a horse and cart. And not many people seem to do this journey. You know, some roads, even in 1853 there were roads that were heavily utilised by personal traffic. Nobody else seems to be wanting this one. Okay, here we go. We're clearly going uphill. It doesn't look like we are, but I can see by the way we're slowing down to 6 kilometres. So this isn't a perfectly flat tunnel through the mountain. We must be pretty much at the crest of this hill now. Yep, speeding up. And this tunnel, I would imagine, has saved the driver 2 to 3 weeks of journey time, which means he can be home with his family more often, which means he doesn't have to work so hard to keep the food protected, which means we can have a wider variety of foodstuffs. Whoa, we're going a bit down here. Like, I still came a long way up the mountain before I put the tunnel, because it did cost a huge amount. Like, this sort of gradation that we have here is a real indication that this is a road that I built, because I had to just follow the contours, and that's not as smooth. But anytime I tried to do a longer stretch than these tiny little segments, it just threw the cost up so much because it was putting in cuttings. So I know that's a bit strange and a bit very hard for the horse to go up, especially. But it's functional. The horse can get through. We've got our delivery run, and it's right. So there you go. That was my first tunnel. I think it's the only tunnel I've got, actually. Oh, in fact, I know it is. It's the only tunnel. I thought I saw some. Oh yeah. So I don't think I have anything else. I think it's just been a connection of industries. 1873 is a rather dull in-between time in the game. I'm not sure that it should be, but it is. Shildon, I've done nothing with Shildon, and it's still just as teeny tiny as it ever was. Just a little place where there's hardly any traffic going through. Most people are on foot. There's no change to the bridges. I have a few more industries happening. I am trying to get these chemical goods out. They're going everywhere, but there's a lot to do. There's a long way for them to go, so inevitably industry is awfully slow. Over here we've got 3 of our very slightly faster vehicles being held up by a slow one, and that becomes, as you get new technologies, it starts to be what the game is about dealing with these blockages. I don't think there is any change. Now I'm just looking at the types of vehicles I've got here. Is there anything that I've missed? I don't believe there is. We've only got the 3 types of freight wagons and the stagecoach. And I've looked at one of each of those now. See how many I've got? Even now, even in this wide map where it looks like nothing's happening, there are so many vehicles on the road. So much for me to keep track of. Oh, hold on. We've got our first mechanical, our first vehicle that does not have opposites. It's a steam bus and it's a terrible noise. I find it terrible noise. It takes 5 people and, like, it's efficient. It maintains its speed very nicely. Kind of fun the way they're sitting, but I feel like they couldn't have those good conversations in this because it's so noisy. That must be really loud if you're there. And I guess those are sort of curtains that will close over if the weather gets bad, but I don't know, I feel like the stagecoach is a little bit more inside. Anyway, they're using these quite successfully and they can save the horses. Horses must get so bored just walking around the city streets all day. I've still probably got some in some places. But I mean, it's advancement, isn't it? And here we are in 1873 having mechanical buses. I'm still not sure about everybody's driving ability. Like, I feel like they need to give pedestrians a little more space on the road. Pedestrians also need to look before they step out. The game doesn't give you accidents. I mean, look at that. What? How could she trust like that? Oh. And she didn't even look. Now they are waiting for him because he dropped off at this, which is a loading zone, and then just sat there forever before he moved, which they just do sometimes, and this one's going to do the same. And it's all very well because I presume these 3 are they're bringing, I don't know, maybe not, this one, it's bringing something in, but this one is just waiting because they can't overtake. And if it was a bit busier, you'd have all these other vehicles pulled up behind, just waiting for him to, I don't know, what's he doing? Giving his horse a drink of water, giving some load? I don't know what the drivers do when they sit there so long. Oh, he is stopped there. He's just never had anything to carry. I think that's probably a new line, but the town will respond to the goods coming in. That will help it to grow. At some point, if I was to sit here long enough, I'd probably see buildings start to change. I do enjoy watching buildings change. Like, there's too much to do in a game to just sit there and hover over a town until it happens. Population is very stable at the moment. And I've swung round. So that's it. That is 1873. We have slightly bigger towns. We have more industries. We have a whole lot of stuff happening in certain places, and we're starting to get mechanised vehicles, but not very practical ones at this point. I'm just having a final look across the map in case there is something that I've forgotten to mention that I've done. I'm not seeing it. I've got a lot of roads through that I didn't. I don't remember if this is one of mine. I mean, it mustn't be because they weren't connected, so that must be one of the game roads. No, I don't know. I would say that's mine. Looking at these very cumbersome step gradations, that's the way I do things. Because I don't really... I'm learning. I haven't quite figured out an easier way to do it yet. Guarantee that I will. Now, this was an original road, I'm pretty sure. But there was one that I built. And this is going to be a whole lot of idly going around the map, seeing if I can locate it. I'll get rid of these guys because they're making too loud cloppy noises. Here, this was it. I did this road. This road has cuttings. This road is magnificent. It's slow because it's very steep, 4 kilometres an hour. It's a very essential road. I wish it was slightly closer to the top because this is going to take a long time. See how far out I can stretch while I'm attached to his cart. Not so far really. I'll go up into the hills a little. I'm in the bird's eye view. Bird's eye view. There's another word for it. It's got this magnificent cutting right down. I mean, look at that. Look at that cliff. And there he is, right by it. He can't see it yet because he's on the other side of the crest. Okay, oh, we can look down. That's a fantastic drop. Doesn't look all that steep, but it's fantastic. And I think the real cliff is actually coming up still. It's in front. Whoa, I got ahead of him, didn't I? He went a bit faster there because it was a bit of a dip. Now it's going slow again to go up. Okay, here's the proper crest. Look at that. That's a cutting I made. A marvellous feat of 1870s engineering, that is. And what a phenomenal view we have here. Can't quite see that cliff, but I'm pretty sure it's there. Yep. Ooh, yep. Straight down. I don't need to go all the way with this, but you know, what fun. What a great place. How cool it is to have this here with that cliff there and that cliff there, and what a marvellous piece of road. I did enjoy putting that in, and I do enjoy travelling that with my trucks, because Marlborough was so unconnected. I do think some of that was there before, and I just sort of refined little bits of it. But what a road, what a great place. I've got big plans for over here. Where are we? Not there, not there. Up here. Here, I knew it was on this side of the map. I'd like to improve some of these roads too, but there's only so much you can do at once. So that's it. That is my world in 1873. My money's going a little bit better. I've still got, see, I borrowed a little bit more. I owe $7.5 million, but I'm beginning to make a profit, which means it's taken me 25 years really, 24, 25 years to pull out of the, oh, those buildings look great. I don't think I've seen that before. That's to pull out of the worst of, let's see if he's going to go past the worst of the debt, and I am starting to be able to spend money. I mean, just the fact that I could do that tunnel, and yeah, I knew it. I knew he wasn't going to go far enough. I did. I want someone come down this road for me. Who's going to do this? Where are you going? I want to go past that shop. Oh, she just pulled out right in front of me, and I don't think she looked either. It's lucky we stopped in time. We're a heavyweight. Okay, so it's got lots of little shops along the bottom. Very nice. About it then. So, the one last thing that I'm curious about, no, I was just looking to see if there was any kind of a menu option that would help me find Abelard the antelope again, because I would like to know what he's doing, but I guess I never will. Station, town, industry, line. So it comes up to, it's just like NPCs. No way to see about animals, so I'll just have to keep an eye out for him. There's lots I don't know. I'm still figuring it all out. Anyway, that's it. 1873 in my world. I will be back in 20 years' time when I presume I will have advanced just a